So a little bit of information on the feet, guys. All right. First of all, again, something just to briefly touch on that emotional side. We know when we're extremely angry, we essentially stomp the floor when we're walking. So therefore, this whole area becomes like a block when it hits the ground. If you remember when you were younger, you used to be able to run across. You could run across stones, all because the bones in the feet could actually move effectively. Okay, there was no problem there. As years go on and the stress starts to impact, okay, essentially the tissue gets lengthened in this plane of motion. So when you stand, if you feel anything touching on that tissue, it will completely lift you out of it. Again, referring back to that startle reflex, ricochets up through the body, and then the person panics and does that kind of emotion. You can hear it there in the voice, okay? It's a lot to do with the runners. It's a lot to do with just simply not wearing, walking on our bare feet anymore. But essentially what happens is we have to remember about tensegrity, and all of this is completely wrapped in a film of tissue. Okay, most feet rubs you ever get would be quite delicate, even if people are trying to get in. As we've talked about before, unless you're physically getting so deep that you're on the actual tissue, which is the periosteum, you're never really going to get full freedom, being able to actually see that each toe can move effectively. Okay, and remember, it's the first thing that hits the ground. So some basic drills, we talk about some basic movements of the feet. Can we roll, can we lift without having to lift the foot? So can we isolate? We talk about the two arches in the foot, which brings us on about insoles. Okay, so person with the flat arch, the easiest thing to do, of course, is go buy yourself a set of insoles, but you will be in them for the rest of your life and you're going to spend a lot of money on them. So now is the time to just put some of that work in. When we squat, if we have an arch that has collapsed, okay, when a person goes to squat and they stand up, you will always see this action here, okay? You'll see this foot turn in, you'll also see it turn out, but in their case, it's like that. So how many of you have this problem? We'll say we can fix that. This is the biggest thing we focus on. We get the foundation right in order to transfer the energy up through the body. So yes, some of the basic drills you can be doing to just check, have you got good range of motion? If you're struggling, for example, if this is moving and this is locked, it is not down here, it is further up the chain, specific areas in here at the back of the knee. And then we have to carry those issues across. There is tons and tons of rehab that we do with our online clients on how to rebuild that arch. And I can guarantee you, as I said, I've done it myself. That's why I really, really try to work hard on it. I had insoles for 10 years, constantly putting them in my boots 1 minute, out into my runners, and I never ever got anywhere with them. And eventually when I learned about all the bones in the feet and the tissue, you just got really obsessed with it and you were able to develop that arch as you see there now, and not need insoles anymore.